Random House Audio presents You're in Charge. Now What? The 8-Point Plan by Thomas J. Neff and James M. Citrin with Catherine Fredman. Read for you by Eric Conger with an introduction by James M. Citrin.
About 3 years ago, I was speaking with a senior executive who was just about to take on a new position as Chief Executive Officer. Having recruited him into this role, we had developed a close relationship, and he considered me a trusted advisor. Despite all his excitement surrounding the appointment and the enthusiastic congratulations from his family, friends, and colleagues, this soon-to-be CEO was getting increasingly apprehensive about all the changes afoot. In a moment of candor, he asked me, "Okay, Jim, you're the one who got me into this. Now what do I do?" While I've been recruiting top executives for the past 11-plus years as a senior director of Spencer Stuart, with CEO and president placements at such leading companies as Yahoo, Motorola, AOL, and Kodak, my partner and the co-author of this book, Tom Neff, has been at the forefront of the executive search profession for nearly 3 decades. Tom has led some of the most visible and successful CEO recruitments in business history for such well-known companies as IBM, Gillette, Prudential, Campbell Soup, Clorox, Dana Corporation, Hershey, Honeywell, J.C. Penney, and many more. When I told Tom about the "now what" question posed by that newly appointed CEO and the advice I gave him in return, Tom was not at all surprised. He had had many similar conversations over the years as well. So we decided, then and there, that we wanted to get to the very heart of the question so we could give sound, research-based advice. We agreed that the best way to get there was to study the best and worst leadership transitions and develop sound and highly practical advice for people who are about to start new leadership positions. You're in Charge Now What is the result of this effort. Over more than 3 years of research, we studied 100 of the most visible CEO transitions, both external recruitments and internal successions, knowing that by contrasting the big success stories with the blow-ups, we could develop sound guidelines for what to do and what not to do when taking on a new role. We interviewed over 50 CEOs, scores of board directors, human resources chiefs, division presidents, and many others involved in and impacted by the leadership transitions. What an experience this has been. The very process of writing and publishing has created a living laboratory for leadership transitions. From the time our manuscript was finalized and right up through to publication, we have been sharing You're in Charge Now What with many of our Spencer Stuart placements and other newly appointed executives. The feedback has been somewhere between gratifying and staggering. Here are just a few examples. Shortly after Brad Gray, the renowned Hollywood talent manager, was appointed chairman and CEO of Paramount Studios, I visited him in his Beverly Hills office. Brad said, "Thank goodness for this book. It's been like a life preserver to an overboard passenger bobbing in the sea. Since the announcement of me going to Paramount last week, I've had over 400 phone calls from some very important people, as well as hundreds of emails and overnight deliveries with all kinds of things I must do. I haven't even started yet, and I feel like I'm already way behind. Not to mention that I still have a company to run. This book has taken a lot of pressure off and allowed me to take a deep breath. My natural competitive instinct was causing me to think that I had to make a bold movie deal to herald that Paramount was back. Thankfully, now I know that I don't have to do this and that there are potentially fatal downsides to coming in with the answers. This book really makes common sense, and it gives me confidence to listen to people in the studio and learn the business." We also shared a copy of this book with Steve Heyer, who was in the midst of accepting the offer to join Starwood Hotels and Resorts as president and CEO. Steve was coming in to partner with Barry Sternlicht, the company's legendary founder and CEO, who had built Starwood from an obscure real estate investment trust into the world's leading and most innovative hospitality company. Starwood's brands include Westin, Sheraton, and St. Regis, as well as the hottest hotel brand on the globe, the W, which Barry personally conceived and developed. Steve had had a highly visible career with both huge accomplishments and well-chronicled setbacks, most recently having been the president and chief operating officer of Coca-Cola. Steve told me that the book became a field manual for how to get off to a strong start, how to communicate with Starwood's vast employee base, how to set enough direction for the company while taking time to lay down a strong foundation. He added that he had even read the book twice and made tons of notes. One of the most appreciative readers of You're in Charge Now What has been Bob Iger, who was recently elected to become CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Over the late part of 2004 and early part of 2005, Bob had one of the most difficult tasks in corporate America, running the day-to-day operations of the world's most famous entertainment company and keeping the company's momentum while going through one of the most heavily scrutinized and public succession processes in history. He handled the pressures with grace and resolve, partially thanks to the support of our book, showcasing the experiences of many other business leaders who had themselves been in the proverbial hot seat. There has also been an unexpected application of the book. In the world of industry consolidation, You're in Charge Now What has become something of a manual for effective merger integration. Recently, I received the following email from Gary Forsey, chairman and CEO of telecommunications giant Sprint, which was merging with mobile innovator Nextel. Jim, hope you are doing well. Thought you'd be interested to know that we gave out copies of your book to our top 60 Sprint Nextel executives in a joint meeting we had last week. I thought the 100-day plan was fitting, given what we have ahead of us. Keep up the good work. Lest you think, however, that this book is only for Fortune 500 CEOs, it is most certainly not. We've had similarly appreciative feedback from scores of new marketing managers, human resources executives, and literally hundreds of graduating MBAs about to launch their postgraduate careers. There are two distinct scenarios in which you are likely to discover yourself in need of our findings. One is if you are about to start or have just started a new job. If this is you, then chances are you're feeling similar to Brad Gray, where everything in your life seems to be changing at the same time. This is a time of stress, high anxiety, and information overload. The good news is that listening through this program will help you to focus on what you have to do now, show you what pitfalls to avoid, and give you the pragmatic advice, structure, and role models to make sure that you get off to a strong start. The second scenario may be less urgent, but is certainly no less important. If you aim to improve your management and leadership in your current position, You're in Charge Now What will serve as your success guide. The principles we set forth, how to set direction, build a management team, work with a boss, communicate effectively, are all at the very center of leadership and professional success. As Jeff Immelt, chairman and CEO of General Electric, told us in our research, the first 100 days of a new job are a sprint, but anyone who wants to achieve success today is going to have a series of great first 100 days. We hope you enjoy this special audio edition of You're in Charge Now What. I will start with a short, true story, and then I will turn it over to Eric Conger, a true professional, who will bring this book to life. Recently, our friend Matt Manley was sitting at the Dunkin' Donuts in New Canaan, Connecticut, jotting some notes on a piece of paper. Standing online, we wondered how his job search was going. When we sat down at Matt's table, he gave us the wonderful news that he had just closed a deal late the previous night to become president of Cannondale Bicycles. After well-deserved congratulations,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?